Welcome to the inaugural episode of Teaching and Learning in the 21st Century, where we discuss challenges, issues, and improving student learning by interventions in our inclusive classrooms. In keeping with the theme, this broadcast is available in numerous formats with a transcript, audio, and with embedded citations also available. Description of teaching and learning context. Our topic today is engaging students learning in the 21st century, teaching students on their terms. Learning in the 21st century involves numerous areas of human development that promotes inclusive and equitable societal development. My recent placement was in Year 6, comprised of 20 students ranging from ages 10 to 12. This is a typical class that consisted of gifted children, one with dyslexia, a mildly deaf student, all English language learners, emotionally challenged children, behavioral and learning issues, and low socioeconomically status children are all in the mainstream classroom learning environment. Teaching students geography on a topic of logging and asking them to work on a project was where some of the challenges within the 21st century identified that we'll be discussing in this presentation. As a challenge in the 21st century, this activity enables me to engage in critical reflection, considering assumptions, pedagogical choices, and institutional structures that will shape the students' learning behavior, despite their backgrounds or learning abilities in the assigned project. Challenge in the 21st century inclusive classroom. Having identified the challenge in the inclusive classrooms, my discussion is based on the challenge experienced during my recent placement when the one laptop per child program was introduced to our primary school. With the introduction of this new learning concept into our education system and engaging the students in the learning activity assigned, it challenges children to develop innovative skills, to think creatively, work creatively with learning peers, and implement innovation. For example, Google search, image selection, videoing, presentation prompts, motivation, modeling, explanation, peer discussion, and leading questions where students are challenged with cognitive ability. Whilst the intention of the OLPC program is to encourage learning by engaging students in a range of educational activities via their own laptop, however, tailoring teaching styles according to different learning needs using various learning tools such as internet browsing, using blogs, wikis, implode, recording, viewing images was a challenge. As asserted by Longwood 2003 that 21st century learning enforces the concept of constructivism, given the rise that learners are not passive recipients of information, but rather actively construct their knowledge in interaction with their own environment, thus requires creativity, innovation skills, and critical thinking. Page 115. Issues identified to the 21st century challenge. There are a couple of issues encountered as a result of this invention in our classroom learning. Children who are computer illiterate and those that have learning difficulties due to physical impairment and social issues appear to be vulnerable and are at risk of being marginalized and segregated. Students with dyslexia seem to have appropriate words in the head, but can't seem to get down in typing. Even if copied from a peer, he still couldn't copy and get it right by typing on the laptop. Few others who have emotional and learning issues and those that have problems with literacy skills were struggling to seek for information using Google Doc and have problems with keyboarding skills. Identifying and recognizing the potential of tools producing different skills to suit each student learning needs was an issue for this group of students. They lack the confidence and competence to use the tools such as videoing, media software, digital recording or publishing, and presentation tools effectively. Few higher achieving students use other apps instead of searching for relevant information. A talented and gifted student was found singing using his earpiece on his laptop. Other computer literate students spend more time in front of the laptop screens rather than direct social interaction with group peers. The availability of resources distracts the students' desired learning, however, seeks that suits their interest. This creates unrealistic expectations. Explanation of the impact of challenge in the inclusive teaching and learning landscape. Considering the challenges experienced by students of various diverse learning needs, it is imperative to note that the opportunities provided by ICT to support teaching and learning in the 21st century are not problem-free. Within an heterogeneous classroom setting, Balansgat, Blamier, and Kefala 2006 argue that although teachers appear to acknowledge the value of ICT in schools, they continue to encounter obstacles during the process of adopting these technologies in their teaching and learning. For example, the student with dyslexia that has difficulty in developing cognitive skills has a problem memorizing his keyboarding skills concepts. Similarly, the deaf student feels ignored if not attended by his peers, and the teacher thus be withdrawn from social interaction. Students with low literacy skills appear to avoid themselves by exploring the learning resource to search for information, as English is the dominant language of the internet. They are therefore vulnerable to exclusion of this sort and can be disengaged in learning. This requires modifying the curriculum or the project assigned and to develop a wide range of materials to accommodate this child and his peers' unique readiness, interest, and learning styles. High achievers are more confident than others, however, are being distracted to other learning tools they are interested in rather than searching for appropriate information needed for the task using relevant tools. They usually go off task. The difficulties and issues encountered by students with various learning needs using the learning resources requires the teacher to develop the assessment tasks that are tailored in each student learning style, allowing children to select activities within their groups based on areas of interest in using the computer learning tools or participating in other areas that are relevant to the assigned project is a great way to differentiate their learning development. Modification of the existing curriculum is necessary in the teaching and learning landscape. Explanation of the impact of challenge on engagement in learning. Although the learning activity was designed to be more learner-centered, social interaction, engagement in learning, and effective communication was an issue for some students for various reasons. In responding to the burgeoning diversity of classroom, as such, the use of one-size-fits-all curriculum can no longer meet the learning needs of others. For instance, the deaf student was arranged to work with his chosen peers of both high and low achievers. Engaging in such learning environment among diversity of student learning needs can achieve maximum benefit when working with capable peers through motivation. An intelligent and creative thinker was being grouped with the student having dyslexia and mixture of both students having low and high literacy in computer skills. The arrangement was aimed to promote social communication skills and feed knowledge to one another through interaction. Through engagement in group work learning experiences, children who feel disengaged may acquire knowledge and learn from each other, developing a sense of belonging, pride, and responsibility. As asserted by Walter Thomas 2000, that collaborating with a competent person enables the incapable child to accomplish this feat by means of prompts, clues, modeling, explanations, leading questions, discussion, joint participation, and control of a child's attention. Page 175. Theoretical foundations of the 21st century challenge. The 21st century concept of inclusive classroom is reinforced through UNESCO 2011 and Commonwealth Disability Discrimination Act 1992, Taylor 1993, ensuring that engagement in learning is accessible to all children regardless of their learning abilities. Teacher differentiate the classroom environment along with content and its delivery. This is in order to cater for all students' learning needs at an individual and class level. Considering the challenge with the use of ICT in learning engagement along with various abilities of learning behavior, Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence can be used as a mediator to differentiate how students can access the content. Applying multiple intelligence in geography project using ICT allows students to explore important concepts using a range of domains and find information based on their own abilities. The 8 intelligences defined by Gardner allows opportunity for children to build upon their strengths within small group instructions. This theoretical framework allows opportunity for students to showcase their intellectual capacity with wide range of strategies to achieve the same outcome, ensuring that learning is accessible regardless of cultural understanding and environment. Theoretical understanding of subsequent issues of the 21st century challenge. The application of Gardner's multiple intelligence theory helps to promote an inclusive environment by valuing that all individuals have strengths in different areas. The 8 intelligences identified by Gardner and can be used individually or in conjunction with one another to enable students to identify their preferred style of learning as well as allow them access to explore other preferred styles of learning. For instance, in achieving the learning outcome, a student with high literacy skills can do the verbal presentation, while others with having strengths on spatial intelligence can do viewing and image insertion to their presentation. Furthermore, students develop kinesthetic ability by moving around to interact through drama, skit, or role play in learning, which promotes their intrapersonal and interpersonal ability. Although learning tasks may appear challenging, the multiple intelligences are presented as tools for learning and problem solving, creating opportunities for all children by enriching their learning through multiple techniques and brings out their strengths. The gifted child and the one with dyslexic may compose a rhyme, a drama, role play, or a song related to logging for presentation, while the deaf child can be engaged in organizing the PowerPoint or other means of presentation their group preferred. With the use of choice in learning, Skinner and Belmont 1993 contends that it helps intrinsically motivate students. Executing activities all at once allows children to further develop their strengths and build their weaknesses. Description of intervention. Adopting and modifying instructional strategies using differentiation. Although the use of laptop plays a vital role by enabling flexible curriculum that can be beneficial only to others, the UN Convention on the Rights of Children of Persons with Disability realize the goal for inclusive education ensures that all children have full access on an equal basis with other students. In achieving the learning outcome of the activity, the curriculum will be modified according to theoretical basis and as foundation beliefs of differentiated instructions to consider all the student needs and engagement in the learning task. Flexible small group instructions. Considering each student learning profile, they will be arranged in 4 groups of 5 students with all mixed ability. The mixed learning abilities in each group is aimed by selecting and organizing learning experience at various levels of Bloom's taxonomy, aligning with the view that multiple intelligences are developed based on individual strengths. For example, in placing the child with dyslexia or a low literacy child in a group will participate in to complete tasks as low levels as knowledge, comprehension, and application. They can assist by searching for information on the print materials, organizing pictures on PowerPoint or videoing peers, and working on their own pace of learning while highlighting the need of problem solving. The ones in the same group will patrol mastery skills may ask to complete tasks in synthesis and evaluation by doing the verbal presentation and explaining the causes and effects of logging in logic order. Students will be instructed to vary their presentation depending on group's choice. It can be a drama, skit, role play, art kind of display, poetry, song, or PowerPoint presentation. At least a member of each group is a computer literate or a high achiever to be in the leader of the group. Interacting with objects and events available, students construct knowledge as they try to bring meaning to their own experience without restrictions. The activity will not be restricted to online searching. however, will provide a wide range of materials to accommodate each child's unique readiness, interest, and learning style. For example, stocking the classroom library with small cardboard books, hard and soft scrapbooks, magazines, newspapers, big books, and interactive books, which are all in a variety of genres with related topics to logging, will appeal to a range of student interest and development needs. Materials such as paints, crayons, large paper sheets, cameras will be accessible, support student engagement, allowing them to develop creativity. Justification of the intervention. Collaborating learning helps learners to make productive choices about the way in which they will learn best within the 21st century. The flexible grouping of students as an intervention is imperative as it allows the students to have opportunity to work with and learn from their peers in a way that lets them feel comfortable contributing. A high achiever carefully instructs a deaf child of how to capture a video while taking a peer using lip observation during taking on the video. Students become resources for another. Dyslexic student can be allowed to use his art skills to develop drawing, portraying the effects of logging. When students work in mixed learning ability of learning groups, they learn to work independently within their level of potential development and cooperatively with variety of personalities. Additionally, students were highly motivated and self-directed. They took complete ownership of their work. While teachers consider students' interest, they give students the opportunity to develop skills and concepts through the topics which they enjoy studying by inquiry-based learning experience guided by the teacher. Justification of sustainable suitability of the intervention for the teaching and learning context. The flexible small group work and allocating the mixed learners in each group with implementing differentiated instruction is appropriate to student learning, engagement, and teaching in learning context. Applying differentiation as intervention provides students with many opportunities for partner and independent exploration in learning and extend the knowledge of important concepts and skills at their own pace of learning. In differentiating to meet each individual learning needs, I was able to modify curriculum and instruction by selecting and organizing content on the basis of learning objectives, choosing instructional approaches for its effective transaction, designing learning activities and assessment according to students' interest, learning styles, and readiness levels. Considering the various learning styles, the intervention considers learning activities taking into account visual, audio, and kinesthetic preferences and readiness levels to meet the academic needs to the students. The intervention promotes a positive emotion learning environment for students, thus enhancing students' emotional development by making them feel comfortable, happy, and more confident, which increase engagement in learning. Conclusions. In conclusion, the interventions of differentiating in task ensures that students feel they are able to accomplish the same task without being further disadvantaged due to their ability. In modifying the teaching style promotes an inclusive classroom learning atmosphere that is free from discrimination of differences. Differentiating the way the curriculum is delivered and assessed caters to all students' specific needs and strengths rather than viewing to the class as a single unit. Differentiated task engages students to accommodate their diverse needs, achievement levels, interests, and their learning styles. The intervention caters to students of individuality as these can enhance their motivation and engagement to learn by providing an environment that is accessible for them and interests them while building on their academic and social needs. Recommendations. Applying differentiated instructions as intervention to the learning task has increased opportunities for peer support and development of relationships. Allowing opportunities for choice of activities enables students to identify their personal qualities, preferred learning styles, and develop a sense of belonging that values their personal achievement. Though the intervention promotes engagement in student learning, a careful selection of organization and instructional delivery strategies is necessary and crucial during the teaching and learning process. This can be beneficial to consider each individual student strengths and to provide personal attention where necessary and allow for differences in ways students approach tasks and complete their group assigned presentations. And we have the references